Puthenchira, a very ancient parish of the Archdiocese of Trichur in Kerala, God's own country, situated at the southern end of India, had the fortune to be the birthplace of Mother Mariam Thresia. Today, Puthenchira is in the Diocese of Irinjalakuda. Chiramal Mankedian was a traditional family in the village of Puthenchira. Thresia was born the third child of Thomman and Thanda in Mankedian family, Puthenchira, on 26 April 1876. Thresia was obedient, humble and a cheerful child. Her loving and amiable nature made her favorite of all. At an early age, Thresia grew in prayer and piety under the spiritual guidance of her mother. Her mother always gave right answers to all her doubts. She yearned to grasp the mystery of the Holy Trinity. Little Thresia, who was smart in studies, won the hearts of her teacher as well as her companions. She rendered constant help to the weak students. There were many who had no adequate food under the prevailing social situations. She always shared whatever she had with others. She was very enthusiastic to help the poor and the miserable. She always had the freedom with Mother Mary as she had with her own mother. Thresia has written in her autobiography that Blessed Virgin Mother appeared to her one day and taught her to recite the Rosary. She desired very much to make her confession and receive Holy Communion. She prepared herself for it without anybody's knowledge. But a child had to be 12 years old in order to make a confession and receive the Holy Communion in those days. The parish priest, who realized Thresia's exceptional self-confidence and intense love of God, heard her confession at the age of 6, going beyond the church statutes. She received the Holy Communion at the age of 10 in the chapel of the monastery at Ambarakad near Puthenchira. Thresia, who burned with the love of God, became 12, which was the marriageable age for girls at that time. Marriage proposals came to her one after another, but Jesus was the only spouse in her heart. She renounced all the pleasures of the world for the sake of her spouse. She took upon herself a share in the sufferings of her spouse, Jesus on the cross. She knelt on the gravel and slept on the thistles and stones. Her mother became bedridden. The death of her mother shattered her. From then on, she accepted Blessed Virgin Mother as her own mother. In the absence of her mother, the burden of her orphaned family fell on her shoulders. The responsibility that Thresia had to take up was beyond her capacity. She found solace in the presence of her spouse Jesus and shared her sorrows with him. Years passed. Thresia, mind immersed in God and remaining single, became a talk in her house and in her village. Her heart burned with God's love, zealous enough to be consumed in the fire of divine love. To merge with Jesus, she desired to be all alone in the wilderness, away from everyone. But her 3 companions with her sister Itianum forcefully brought her home. Her thirst for prayer and solitude grew intensely day by day. It became certain that the conditions at home were not favorable for a life of solitude. The poor financial status of her family was not conducive for her to join a convent either. Thresia thirsted for the love of God. God answered Theresia's prayers for a spiritual director to guide her in her helpless condition. Chose Father Joseph Vidyathil to be her spiritual director. The reverend priest, having come to know from Thresia about her divine inspirations and visions, was inspired by the Holy Spirit to agree to be her spiritual director. Jesus gave Thresia a share of his sufferings on the Holy Cross by giving 5 wounds on her body. Her people at home, being perplexed by this, called for a village doctor. He examined her, but could not find any sign of physical illness. The family informed Father Joseph Vidyathil about the experiences of Thresia. While Father Joseph was talking to Thresia, Blessed Virgin Mother appeared and revealed to him of the will of God for Thresia and said, Thresia would have to undergo many tests and temptations. Blessed Virgin Mother asked him to pray for Thresia. The following days were of continuous diabolical tests and tribulations for Thresia. Father Joseph informed Bishop John Menacheri, the Vicar Apostolic of Trichur, all about the diabolical trials and divine interventions. The bishop, awestruck, listened to the extraordinary divine interventions. He took every decision concerning Thresia only after many tests and observations. Thresia, having received the divine call, could not be confined to her home. Her own personal sufferings could not deter her from the works of charity. Directed by Blessed Virgin Mother, Thresia visited the families of her own parish and around. There was not a house in Puthenchira that Thresia had not attended to. Her presence at the deathbed helped many to have a peaceful death. Hence, she constantly prayed for the souls in purgatory. Many instances have been recorded of souls in purgatory appearing to Thresia and pleading for prayers, and Thresia having helped them. Thresia prayed fervently and did penance for the souls in purgatory. There were times when she spent whole nights in prayer for the souls in purgatory and for the conversion of sinners. As per the order of Bishop John Menacheri, Father Joseph admitted her in the Carmelite Third Order, giving her veil and scapular. Thresia and her friends continued the family apostolate. They became a refuge to the downtrodden and the marginalized of Puthenchira. Thresia, who remained in meditation for hours before the crucifix in her small room, was awe-inspiring to her people and neighbors. 10th February 1906. The time Thresia was immersed in meditation. Thresia was eager to share the sufferings of Jesus. She asked for his cross and bore it on her shoulder.
Jesus! Oh my Jesus!
No one could comprehend the things that happened within Thresia. The bishop received many complaints about Thresia, that there were diabolical possessions in her house, that the devil had possessed her. Unusual events were happening in Thresia and in her house. The bishop, by the power of the authority vested on him by the church, issued an order of exorcism. Father Joseph Vidyathil, the parish priest, pasted this order of exorcism on the door of Thresia's house. This caused fear among the people. But the response of Thresia surprised everyone.
Oh, what a blessed gift!